welcome to High Now Daily. My name is Lauren Taruya, and we got a great show in studio for you today. But before we kick things off here, I'm going to toss things over to Kainoa, who's live from Aloha Hotel.
That's right, Lauren. Mahalo nui. As you mentioned, we're live over here at Aloha Hotel. A very special day over here as Papa'ola Lokahi, an organization that specializes really in Native Hawaiian health and well-being, has put together a two-day conference where just today alone, over 600 people have registered very vital information and kuleana. And to touch on a little bit of everything that was spoken about today, I want to bring in the CEO of Papa'ola Lokahi. This is Sherry Daniels. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo.
Very excited to be here. So for people who aren't there, Sharon, we're going to talk about the entire conference today, but tell us about Papa'ola Lokahi, the services you folks provide.
So what people don't realize is we are actually a convening organization. Our kuleana, based on codified federal law, is to uplift the health of our kanaka, wherever they're at. And we do that through our partnerships with community-based organizations, not only here on Oahu, across our Pai'aina, but we also reach across the Pacific to our continent partners. And so it's really about research, data. We're talking traditional practices, traditional healing practices. We're doing different chronic conditions, other conditions that impact our lahui, from mental health to substance abuse, the range. We are also talking about social cultural determinants of health, right? We know that culture is a pathway to health for our people. So, what about housing, education? Those are peripheral, but we really look at our partners. That's our bread and butter, that's our core, that's who we are supporting so that they can support our lahui.
It's a very important ike that's taking place over here today. Now expand on AHA, what this gathering is all about. And you mentioned a lot of the topics you guys are going to discuss over the course of the next 2 days.
Absolutely. It's, AHA Ho'olokahi, this is our second. We have had gatherings in the past, but our last one was in 2023 out at West Oahu. And so every 2 years we gather and convene our partners that are doing service, our community, anyone interested in Hawaiian health. We have people who've been doing Hawaiian health work for 40 plus years. Papa'ola Lokahi's been in existence since 1988 when the first act was passed with Senator Daniel Inouye. And we've just been doing work since, growing, being part of the community, just doing the hana. And that's really what we've been doing. And this AHA is convening everybody. So one, they can create space, but they can also share experiences, share mo'olelos, reconnect. Some of them haven't seen each other since pre-COVID. And so really it is the space to have conversations, hard conversations, easy conversations, all of that in between.
Yeah, and in many instances as well, these organizations coming together like, oh, that brother's doing this over there. I know someone who's doing something in this space here. So very important also as well, when you're thinking about the people that have come from not just the neighbor islands to be here today, from the continent as well. You just touched on, you guys had an immense goal, going to all 50 states, right?
All 50 states.
What took place with that initiative?
Well, so Healo a Healo was our opportunity to really hear from our voices of our kanaka wherever they are, here in Hawaii, but also across the 49 states. And so last August, we launched it in Utah, and we just wrapped it up on Molokai last week. Our last continental state was in Arkansas, and we touched 50 states in 50 weeks.
Unreal. What was that experience like to be able to go to the continent where now we know there's actually more Native Hawaiians there than there are back home?
53%. Well, we also know that census number is underreported. So we know next census, if we're really engaging our community, those numbers should go up.
It'll be even more.
And I think what we got to watch is the gap between Hawaii versus continent going to expand? And it's not a bad thing. We just got to start having conversations on how that is for us, for them, collectively. I think that's the bigger kind of conversation. But listening to all 50 states, and I had the privilege of going to all 50. People are still proud. People are still holding true to the values of being Hawaiian, regardless if you're a fourth generation on the continent or you just moved there 2 weeks ago. And that's important, is we get the opportunity to listen to our community and advocate the best we can, not on our not based on what we want, but what the collective is hoping.
And what is needed and what is what people are hoping
Yes,
for.
yes.
Sherry, mahalo nui for the
Mahalo.
time. Hey, stay with us over here on High Now Daily. We have much more coming up from Ala Moana. And, you know, speaking of Hawaiians continuing to uplift other Hawaiians, Lauren Taruya is back in studio, joined by a brother doing just that. How's that?
That's right, Kainoa. Joining me now is Keala Lucero, filmmaker and founding member of the Hawaii Film Alliance. And we're going to talk story all about, I mean, there's been a lot of things happening within the film industry just within the last week, isn't that right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, Chief of War just came out. That was amazing. Just being able to see our Hawaiian stories and actors, something that was produced and directed partly by Jason Momoa, Native Hawaiian filmmaker.
I know, I was seeing all of the coverage, incredible storytelling happening in our community, and I love to see that growth. I want to talk about the Film Alliance that you've been a part of, founding member. For anyone who is unfamiliar, you know, why was this created?
You know, when the tax credit bill that would have upped the incentives to make it more competitive with other states and other countries failed to pass, group of professionals like myself, Angie Pratt, Brian Keaulana, Wainani Tomich, you know, Irish Barber, Eric Hayes. These are all people who are very well respected, and they're all in different areas of the industry. And so we just came together because we wanted to make sure that we're taking care of our workers, tell their stories, be a place for up-to-date information, as well as just being like someplace that can help legislation.
Absolutely. And for anyone who maybe is unfamiliar of the incredible economic impact that the film industry has in Hawaii, can you give us a little snapshot of really what the true potential it is here in Hawaii?
Yeah, so the film industry brings in between $300 to $750 million in economic activity.
Wow.
And so when you look at the tax incentive, $1 from that incentive usually returns $5 ROI.
Wow.
So it's a big deal. Last year, I believe it was 324 million in economic activity, and so we definitely want to bring that back. You look at Chief of War. Chief of War had a $340 million budget, and so there's a lot of money to be spent, and that can be spent here. And so when they had to go to New Zealand, you know, it was heartbreaking for a lot of reasons. But part of the issue is that Hawaii has a $50 million cap, and so once that cap is reached for the year, you either have to go elsewhere in film, or you just, you know, you're kind of out of luck.
Gosh, so what do we do? Like, how can we support? How can we change things?
Yeah, if you go to hawaiifilmalliance.com, you can check, or .org, you can check out our website, learn more about us, who we are, what we're trying to do. We also are going to have a fundraiser coming up soon.
Okay.
And stay tuned for that.
Awesome. And you know, as we're talking about the industry and just, I know how involved you are. I've seen some of your amazing work. Can you just talk about, you know, your hopes for the future of Hawaii and where you think that things can go?
You know, Lilo and Stitch live action, they're about to break $1 billion in sales. And so people all over the world are, you know, they're in love with Hawaii. They see our stories, they see our people. Chief of War is going to come out. That's going to blow doors. And basically, we have things in production and in development. You know, a lot of Native Hawaiian writers are here, very talented. And so that's kind of what we're focusing on now. But just, I would say if you do want to see more stories like that, especially being told from a Native Hawaiian perspective, just support your local filmmaker.
There we go. All right, well, Keala, thank you so much for sitting here with me. And make sure you check out their website for all the details on how you can support the Film Alliance and, of course, the overall industry right here in Hawaii. You're watching High Now Daily. We'll be right back. We're kicking off a new series showing off all the opportunities with the City and County of Honolulu. HNL City Jobs has several openings, including with the Honolulu Police Department. Joining me now, I have Sergeant Walter Espiritu along with Cadet Anaya Domingo. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay, so we're going to talk about some incredible opportunities within the department. First off, Sergeant, what are you looking for? What kind of jobs are open right now?
So right now we have 3 jobs that we want to talk about, 3 positions. The first one is our Metropolitan Police Recruit position, and that's the entry-level position for when people want to become police officers.
Okay.
So that one we have, as everybody knows, we have a lot of vacancies, so a lot of opportunities for that we're trying to fill for the city. One thing that we're trying to do to make it more attractive for that position is we have a $25,000 hiring incentive.
Wow.
For the police recruit position. And we're trying to get that out there because, you know, and with your help and on this show, we're hoping to get that done. Yeah, so that's one of the positions that we have. The second position is our police communications officer, which is really important. That's our police radio dispatchers. And they're really our heroes behind the scenes, right? They're the ones who answer the phones, direct us and send us to where we need to be.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of openings for that as well.
Okay. Is there one more or those 2?
There is.
Okay.
And so our third position that we're here to talk about today is our police services officer position. And that's our cadet position. This is a position that we recently brought back in January of 2024. And you know, not a lot of high schools know about this because now we can hire high school graduates right out of high school.
Wow.
So they just have to be have their high school diploma, driver's license, and be a citizen or permanent resident, and they meet the minimum qualifications for that.
That's awesome, and can get right to work.
And right into it's basically a police apprenticeship program, and we can hold them and help train them for the academy. And they make a pretty decent amount of money, just shy of $71,000 a year.
Holy smokes, okay, so we got a cadet right with us, isn't that right? So Anaya, can you tell us about your personal experience, just going through the program? What was it like?
So I just graduated last year from Kualoa High School.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was actually in a academy class called Law and Public Safety, which helped me learn about the program because they would bring in officers and also other cadets that would tell us about the program, which was really an eye-opening for me so that I can join the program for moving forward.
That is so amazing. So really, truly, there's something for everyone, all levels, different ages, different experiences. That's really great to know. And I also know that we were talking about there's 2 new training programs. Can you go over that?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the programs that we have is called our Applicant Conditioning Training, which we call the ACT. It's a program that we have to help our candidates who are in our application process physically prepare for the police academy.
Okay.
So we have them come out, we work out with them once a week, and so that they know the intensity that they need to be at for the academy, and hopefully we can prepare them better for the academy. So that's one of them. The second one, and we're about to launch this, and we're looking at dates right now on when we can do this. It's called our PRA Prep. So now the PRA is our physical readiness assessment. That's our physical testing in the application process.
Wow.
So to have that, we're gonna help prepare applicants who are not in the process, prepare to pass the physical test once they come into our process.
Okay, sounds a little bit like boot camp.
It's a lot more fun and informal.
Okay,
and,
okay.
Yeah.
It's not that scary. Don't worry, don't worry. Awesome.
Yeah.
And speaking about all these opportunities, there is a job fair happening.
There is. On July 30th at the Neil Blaisdell Exhibition Center, we're going to have a career expo, and 15 City and County of Honolulu departments are going to be there, as well as us. So if anybody wants to come and check us out and ask us any questions, or they're looking at other city jobs, that would be the place to come and check that out at. We'll be there on the 30th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Awesome. And for anyone who wants to get more information specifically about all the different jobs you talked about and the different training programs, where's the best place they can go?
They can go to joinhonolulupb.org on our website, and if they're interested in other city and county jobs, they can go to honolulu.gov/careers.
All right, it's right there on the screen. Make sure you get that information. We'll also have that posted up on Hi Now Daily. But thank you both so much for being here. And make sure you stay with us because that training program they talked about, they're gonna put me to the test when we come back. So stay with us. You're watching Hi Now Daily. We'll be right back. Are we doing that together?
How's it, Aloha gang, and welcome back to Hi Now Daily. We're back over here at the Aha Ho'olokahi 2025. This is a Native Hawaiian Health and Wellbeing Summit taking place at Aloha Hotel. A lot of very important conversations taking place today. Very excited to welcome in our next guest. This is Dr. Aukahi Austin Seaberry, who is actually a psychologist who created Iololokahi. Yeah? Tell us about that.
Hi, mahalo. Yep, Iololahui. We just turned 18 years old. We're a Hawaii nonprofit organization that's focused on providing behavioral health that's responsive to the Native Hawaiian, medically underserved, and rural communities. And so we both provide therapy services, and we also do training. So we place our learners out in rural and underserved communities and Native Hawaiian communities so they learn while they serve. And then they get hired on in those communities because they have a heart to serve and they're a good fit. And then they become our faculty. And through that, we've been able to grow and grow the behavioral health workforce for those communities specifically. And we teach them how to do it.
Maikaya, and again, kalama Itiola Lahui. You're actually a keynote speaker today. What were some of the topics you discussed today for the panel?
Yeah, it was good fun being here at the AHA. We get to see all of the folks that work in Hawaiian Health. And so in the keynote today, what I did was I kind of just ran through the year of all the different kinds of vantage points I've been able to have on Hawaiian Health. So I was with Aina-based organizations like Waipa'a Foundation, visiting folks that do cultural training and education, like Lo'iloa on Maui, and then also, of course, the folks doing the social work, reaching out for our foster families at Epigoana, and then, Waimanalo Health Center and all the folks doing that good work, and then, of course, the staff at Papa. So visiting all the ways we could look at how are we doing in Hawaiian Health? How are we doing as a Lahui? And then how are we doing as a community of people trying to make health better? And that was the question I asked myself and the audience.
The very important question, and also Dr. Aukahi, especially when we think about today being in the space that you're in with mental health. Obviously, August 8th changed Hawaii forever. What has that been like working with so many of the ohana that have been impacted? And where are we at kind of there now, and how are people kind of navigating this path forward?
Yeah. Oh, that's a big question. I think you in the question kind of gave some of the answer, which is that each ohana that was affected and continues to be affected, they're navigating their way forward. We're coming up on 2 years since the wildfires occurred. When we first went there, right, they were in shock and maybe learning how to handle it. And so some of it was about the immediate event. But really for the ohana that were most affected, even then navigating all of the change and challenge that has happened in the last 2 years, that stuff is stressful all by itself. The phone calls, the waiting, the learning what the processes are, and having those hard conversations about what is going to be our new normal. How are we going to find our feet again? And that, of course, comes with a lot of stress and strain.
Right.
And so even for the most happy and high functioning and doing well ohana that hang together and lean into their faith and cultural practices, that stress was more than most could bear. And so we saw a lot of ohana needing different kinds of supports. So we saw communities coming together.
Yeah.
We heard people were having kanikapila jams in parks and places they needed to. And there were also just these agencies that kind of came forward and
like how do we kokua?
Yeah.
Like what is the best way to do that?
Right.
Yeah.
And for me, the part that I really try to emphasize is show up with support that you can do for the long haul. Plenty kinds of support show up right at the crisis. Here's a blanket, here's a bottle of water, here's the emergency stuff. What I think that community, as they recover, need is they need people who are going to be part of the long-term system solutions. Yeah. And AHA is one of the places that we get to kind of have those, how are we all coordinated? Because each of us, we're health and healers, right? That's what we do. And so we might put our head down and just do our part. So I just make sure mental health is happening, making partners, doing it, training. But when we don't stop and do an AHA like this, where we stop and go, how is everybody's movement coordinated? What does Aina-based growing kalo have to do with Hawaiian health, just like trauma and mental health treatment does? If we don't do that, we start to not, we don't see how the people who are working on policy and advocacy and change are making a difference for our health, just like the folks who are making sure we have healthy food on the table and the folks that are providing that primary and emergency health services are doing. All of it kind of has to focus together. One of the themes of my talk was thinking about ourselves in Hawaiian health as more about being healers than just health providers. Because when you think about health services, that's a transaction, right? You go and you get what you need and you go. Now the best of health services have that care in it, right? It has Aloha, has Pilina around it. But when we talk about thinking of yourself as a healer, the whole way you come at that changes.
Yeah, and probably for the person receiving the care, it changes for them too.
Absolutely, because to heal, you have to take care of yourself and stay well. You can't heal if you aren't healed in that way. And so it begins a wonderful conversation about all of us need to be doing those well-being practices. Yeah. All of us have to check, are my edges showing? And how do I know my edges are showing? That's one of the questions. And people ask me all the time, like, do I need therapy? That's a question that comes up all the time. And part of the answer is, well, are your edges showing more than usual? Are you having a harder time being you on a good day? Like, is that less often? Are you having a harder time finding the good words?
You have to come and see Dr. Aokari. She'll be able to kokua and help you navigate through that whole process. Mahalo nui for the time, and thank you so much for being with us. Again, we're going to have much more coming up from Ala Moana Hotel as the AHA Ho'olokahi 2025 continues. We'll be right back.
and welcome back to High Now Daily. Now we're back with Sergeant Walter, but we got a new guest star with us. We got Corporal Cameron Lum. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Okay, so we're gonna put ourselves to the test. Before we get into it, we're talking about 2 new training programs.
Correct.
But what are we specifically working on right here?
So, Lauren, in our program, we came up with the program because we wanted to help prepare people for the physical test in our application process.
Okay.
The biggest failure rate that we found was in our push-ups.
What?
Yes, so because of that, we have Corporal Lum here, and you guys are gonna get into the push-up position, and he's gonna demonstrate some, and you guys are gonna do some push-ups together.
Okay, but before, whoa. Before we get into it, I have to ask some of those specifics. So, is this on the knees? Is it tricep push-ups? What are we working with?
It's gonna be regular push-ups. You're gonna
Okay.
have about a shoulder width stance.
Okay.
It's gotta be from your feet. You can't let your knees, stomach, or chest touch the ground when you're doing the push-ups.
Okay, and why are some of these things implemented in the training program to, eventually be within the police department?
Well, it's gonna be a measure of muscular endurance. So upper body strength, chest, shoulders, triceps. It's one of the standards that we have for our physical readiness assessment.
Okay. All right, let's do it. Let's walk. I bet the heels are coming off. Ready to go. Okay. Show me where we're
Don't worry, it'll be
started.
easy.
All right.
Yeah.
So hands about shoulder width.
Shoulder width.
You wanna stay on the balls of your feet.
Balls of the feet.
Imagine that you have a straight line from the back of your neck all the way down to your heels.
Okay.
And hold your core tight.
Okay.
And remember to breathe.
Okay. I'll remember
So you're gonna
to
lower your
breathe.
body. You wanna lower your body down just so that your upper arms and upper back are in general
That's
straight
so
line.
slow. Holy
And then come
smokes.
back up.
Okay.
So that's the form we're looking for. We want to lock all the way out, so down again, and then straight all the way up.
Okay.
So just 24 of these.
24.
And there's no time limit
intense.
though, so it's not
Well,
too bad.
holding the plank
like
isn't
that.
necessarily that easy.
So coming down again, just like that.
Wow, okay. And we just keep on and going.
And you want to make sure that your head doesn't bob down this way.
Okay, no head
so that
bobbing.
You're basically going all the way down.
So in addition to the push-ups, are there other physical elements to this training test?
Yes, there's going to be a sit-up
I'm gonna
test.
make you talk to me the whole time.
There's going to
doing
be a sit-up
push-ups.
test, a sit-up test, an agility test, a 300-meter sprint, and a 1.5-mile run.
Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get admitted into the department. But this sounds like this training program really does help you prepare. And is that really the key? Because some people just kind of come in and don't expect all the endurance elements of the
Right, absolutely. So this program that Corporal Lum created, I mean, we're having CrossFit coaches, F45 coaches, and pro athletes come, and they're very thankful and grateful for this program. They may not have been training correctly for the intensity that they need for the academy. Yeah. So it's really important that we have, and it's invitation only to come to this ACT program as they prepare through the process to get into the academy.
How awesome. Well, it's so great that you really set up the tools and things that people need to be able to be successful and be a part of the team. So thank you so much for walking me through that. And make sure that you follow at HNL City Jobs on social media to stay up to date on all their latest career opportunities at the city and county of Honolulu. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. And one more time, what were the details of that career fair happening?
It's going to be on July 30th at the Blaisdell Exhibition Hall, and we're going to be there from 9 to 2, as well as 15 other city departments, so they can come and check us out, ask questions. We'll be there, and they can come visit us and talk story.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here, and make sure to check it out, all those details out on our website. You're watching High Now Daily, and we'll be right back. and welcome back to High Now Daily. Now we've got an exciting opportunity for people to tune in to Frankie's Beach House happening this weekend. Joining me now, I got Brian Spicer, the owner of the lounge and Velvet Monkey, along with Frankie Moreno, who's an entertainer all the way from Las Vegas.
Yep.
Today, you said.
Yeah, I just came in.
Well, you're looking fresh. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for being here today. So for anyone unfamiliar of the lounge, let's talk all about it. What is this special place that you've created?
Yes, thank you. Well, my brother and I own a world-class recording studio in Hawaii Kai. And over the last year, we've converted the downstairs into a live entertainment lounge where we have local artists and artists like Frankie coming in and playing in front of a live audience. And we also have a speakeasy upstairs where we do the same thing. And over the last year, we put on over 300 shows, and we're getting great reviews. We have great food. It's like a dinner show.
I love it. Now, you have an insanely impressive background within the entertainment industry. So what was really your inspiration behind creating a space like this?
Well, I've been really into helping the creative industries here in Hawaii with filming and with music. So this was a great opportunity for us to take over a world-class music studio that have had artists like Beyonce and Kanye and Snoop Dogg and Eminem have all made gold and platinum records there. So we wanted to take over the place and keep it relevant for today. And pivoting a little bit, we opened up this live entertainment lounge for artists to be able to play in front of a live audience.
How very cool. Now, Frankie, I'm going to toss things to you and ask you, you have such a phenomenal background within the music industry. Can you just talk about yourself as an artist first?
I grew up in the industry. I've been doing it I live in Vegas and here, kind of both now.
We love that.
Yeah.
One foot in here, one foot in
Ninth
there.
Island and back and
Yes.
forth. But no, I've worked with like a lot of names that you'd recognize and written songs for people and produced records for them and doing my own show in Las Vegas as well. And I kind of came in and some friends were playing at the lounge and invited me over and I went and saw it and I fell in love with the place. I'm like, there's something really vibey about it, you know? And so we all got to know each other. We started talking. We're like, we should do something in here. And it was kind of tricky because, like, you know, in Vegas we're playing every night and it's, you know, hundreds or 1,000 people at a time. So it was like it's a small, intimate room. So we're like, how can we actually hit a bigger audience, you know, and not just add 10 more seats, not like. So we thought we should stream the show.
I love that idea. So tell us, are you streaming the show? How do people tune in?
We're streaming it. So it's cool because like we have a great fan base that we built and like I mean all over Europe, everywhere, you know. So we thought like this would be a way if I hosted this show to showcase a lot of the local talent to places that maybe they wouldn't have reached. Right?
I love that, yeah.
So like we have a big fan base of ourselves. We go to Scandinavia all the time to perform. So we're like, for instance, one of the guys being featured on this upcoming Saturday is a guy named Tavana, who I've worked with many times here in Hawaii. Love his music. Amazing.
Yes, agree.
And we're like, how would Tavana hit a market like that? Well, if we stream it, we can get it out there.
The possibilities are endless, absolutely.
Right.
And I'm curious, you know, what is in Frankie's Beach House? Like, what are people going to expect?
Well, what we hope to do is create our own variety show, a music variety show that we can do once a month. We can stream it. And I'm from the film industry and television, so my mind is to take that and make our own show out of it and to bring in a lot bigger artists from the mainland. We do question and answer, we do a private concert, small concert, intimate, and stream it. I think it could be a good show.
Almost if it was like a TV show, like you're tuning into a TV show, right? Instead of just like, and now the cameras are live and here's somebody's concert. Yeah. Because, you know, if you're in the room, if we put on a concert right here, right now, and you're in the room, great. But if we're streaming that, how do we actually connect with that audience? So we're trying to find ways to like make it really special, you know, story time and all that stuff, but also showcase all the different places they have in the venue itself. They have the speakeasy upstairs, Velvet Monkey. They have the studio, the recording studio. So like, how do you incorporate all those things? So we want to like, you know, cut the cameras to these different things.
Absolutely. And it sounds like the perfect duo has been met in order to put on a production like this. So for anyone who wants to stream this weekend, where do they go for that information?
We can look up our tickets at the lounge at Island Sounds. You can find it there.
Oh, there we go. It's right on the screen right there. So
There
make
it
sure
is.
you scan that code, get the information, stream the very first lounge show happening this weekend. And gentlemen, thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing all the details. I cannot wait to see this phenomenal production.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Thanks for having us.
All right, all the details will be posted up on High Now Daily. We'll be right back. I love the variety show concept. That's just like...
It never gets old.
Hey, how's it, Aloha gang? Welcome back to High Now Daily. We're back over here at the Aloha Hotel by Mantra. We've been talking about Papa'olalokahi and this amazing conference taking place to just educate everyone here in the community about the resources that are available here at home. We want to bring in right now Senator Jared Ke'oho Kalole and talk a little bit about just what this experience has been like for you today.
Oh, it's great. It's exciting. Having a lot of people who are all committed to serving the public, healing people all together. You can feel the buzz in the back of us.
Yeah, and it's very important now, in addition to talking about things like accessibility, resources, again, that are provided, a lot of conversation as well, kind of about protection in terms of native practices that we're doing here in Hawaii. What's taking place there, and why is that important?
So traditional Native Hawaiian healing practices are protected in the Constitution, but those protections don't matter if people are not getting access to it out in the community. A lot of times, especially on the neighbor islands or in rural areas, the traditional practices are the only way that people actually can be seen. It's a really important piece of, trust in the community, making sure that people feel comfortable enough to come forward and get help and get the health care they need.
Absolutely. Now, Senator, when we're talking about protection of some of these Native Hawaiian practices as well, expand a little bit more on what some of those practices are.
There are lots of different, the midwifery, traditional healing practices like la'au, medicine, but a lot of it just comes down to making sure that there are trusted partners in the community, that folks who are sick or who need help or advice or even just access can reach out in the community. we have hospitals spread throughout the state, but they're not evenly spread so that people can get to them when they really need help and services. So I think that's a lot of what's going on. Back in the day, community were the ones that took care of each other, and those networks and those practices and traditions, they still exist. So it's important to make sure that we can help keep them going.
Senator, a lot of information out there right now. People worried when it comes to Medicaid. In that entire space right there, what were some of the conversations that you're hearing today, and what should people know?
We're still trying to absorb everything that's happening at the federal level. It's caused a lot of instability. There are lots of questions. So AHA like these are really important to have people who are trusted communicators out in the community to get together, make sure we're all on the same page about what's happening, what impact it's going to have on the ground, and then what the plan is going forward. We know that things are going to change. They may not be changes for the better, but if we can adapt and all work together, then that's the best way forward.
Senator, you just touched on it as well. Oftentimes instability in terms of what people should know, where they should go, how they should get things done, who they should see. Why is AHA like this so vital, so important, especially given the times that we're in right now?
Well, because the healthcare practitioners themselves are the trusted sources of information in the community. Again, lots of people that come to traditional Native Hawaiian healers don't necessarily trust the mainstream healthcare system, but they still need help. So we got to make sure that everybody who's out in the field, whether they're a mainstream practitioner or a Hawaiian healer or both, know what's going on and are able to just communicate to everyone. Because a lot of times people just want to know what's happening. They know and they can see that there are changes coming. They just want to understand how it's going to impact them and what the plan is going forward.
Very important, Senator. Mahalo nui for the time.
Mahalo.
Now stay with us on High Now Daily. We're going to have this entire interview posted online. Stay with us and we'll be right back.
Great storytelling begins with deep connections. Hawaii News Now and Kamehameha Schools are launching a new hands-on media training program that sharpens your skills, your technical talents, while rooting you in community. Refine your craft while amplifying the mo'olelo that matter most to Hawaii. Apply for Kalele at kaiaulu.ksbe.edu.
One of the main goals of Kualoa Ranch is to preserve its sacred lands. And today, we're hiking through Hakipu'u Valley to learn more about their native restoration efforts here on the windward side. Thank you so much for inviting me into this secret space.
Oh no, thank you for being here. No, and it's very, very exciting to have you guys get to go see some of the work that we do over here at Kualoa. And the specific site that we're at is one of our restoration sites. We call it Punawai Ulu. And the name refers to the water system that you see over here. We have several punawai throughout this whole ahupua'a. Punawai is the Hawaiian word for freshwater stream. It is really the cornerstone for maintaining our Mauka to Makai connection.
Can you tell us a little bit about the work that's being done here, the native restoration?
Honestly, we do a whole variety of different tasks over here. There's 4,000 acres on the ranch, and some of that includes pasture work. A lot of that for us specifically though includes working up in the forest. So we have a lot of our native forest ecosystems that are still intact. And so we'll go out up on the ridges and go find some of those kipuka. And then when the fruit are ready for harvest, we'll go collect those and bring them back down to our greenhouse space. And it's in those spaces where we'll go and grow those plants so that we can take them out to other places around the ranch. Punawai Ulu being one of those spaces. So we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of plants that have been placed here for the past 5 or more years that have all grown and then reestablished this ecosystem that used to be prevalent throughout this whole entire valley.
Now, over the 5 years, there's been some progress, there's been some setbacks. Could you share with us?
Obviously, weeding is kind of one of the main things that we're always going to be doing. A lot of the plants that were introduced here over the course of the past 150 plus years, obviously they don't have their natural predators anymore, so we have to fill in that space. And so what the field crew is doing right now, they're weeding in between all of the outplants and making sure that they have as much space to grow and then recruit, because ultimately that's the goal, is for all of these plants to just go do that themselves. And another thing that we are seeing, coconut rhinoceros beetle is a pretty important issue, especially here on Oahu, but really it's for the entire island chain. So what we do is we'll monitor, make sure that we're not getting or not seeing any damage on any of the trees. And if we do see damage, then we'll work with the rest of our fellow co-workers across the department and then make sure that we can treat these guys the best that we can, so hopefully nip it in the bud before it gets too major.
And now let's talk about volunteer work. Now this, what we're doing, and this area that we're at, this is not part of a tour here at Kualoa Ranch, but there's also some volunteer opportunities for those who are interested.
So working with the education department, they're able to coordinate with different teachers, other community groups to coordinate these volunteer outings, and then we'll take them over here to our spaces, do a brief little introduction, go over the history like how we talked about today, and then get into doing some weeding around the outplants. And then if it does happen to fall during outplanting season, then also get to outplant a few native plants as well.
Now, how many natives are you folks planting in a season?
We're planting roughly 3,000 plants. And again, these are all plants that we have collected fruit from up in our forested areas and then brought back to our own native greenhouse. And so the main takeaway that we hope that our visitors can get from this section of the tour is that this is what a native forest is supposed to look like. This is what makes Hawaii, Hawaii.
And if people wanted to learn more about your educational programs or maybe book a tour that goes right around this area so they can see all that you have done, where would they go?
They can go to kualoa.com. That is our website, and they can book a tour there and kind of get a sense of what's going on. And then as far as the specific work that we do here in stewardship, as well as what livestock is doing and what the different ag sites are doing, then they can go onto our Instagram account at Kualoa Grown.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me today.
Thank you for being here.
All right, we're going to have all the details up on our website as well, hainaudaily.com. Aloha.
We love our friends at Kualoa Ranch. And speaking of friends that we love, we also have an awesome collaboration happening with the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra. We have a chance to win an unforgettable night under the stars. We're giving away tickets to see Kapena perform live with the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra this Friday. This is happening July 25th at 7:30 p.m. at the beautiful Waikiki Shell. We're celebrating Kapena's 40 years of iconic music, and don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime collaboration that promises to be a magical evening of music, memories, and aloha. Make sure you head to our Instagram after the show for all the details on how to enter, and scan the code on the screen right now if you want to buy your tickets. Also, you can support local small businesses at the Makeke this weekend. This event is free and open to the public, and it's all thanks to a partnership between Keiki Hula and the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement. Shop the exhibition hall at the Neil Blaisdell throughout the weekend. The hours are listed on your screen, and scan the code for a full list of participating vendors and more. Also, hundreds of keiki will compete in the arena for the competition this weekend. There will also be a bunch of activities you can check out in the exhibition hall, so make sure you scan the code on the screen to buy tickets now. Hawaii News Now's Guy Hagi takes the wheel with a familiar face for today's Upfront episode. Check it out.
Aloha, welcome to another edition of Upfront with me, Guy Hagi. And today, we're talking to him, Billy V. William Van Alsdahl. How you, Billy V?
Oh my goodness. I thought my cousin was talking to me and called me that. How are you, bro?
I am good. I am good. Plus, I get to ride with you.
Nice day to drive outside.
It is a nice day. But we wanted to share your story with people because I think people, at least the younger generation, think of you like always being there, right? No matter where we go, you're emceeing an event, you're on TV at sunrise, you're doing stuff like the Hokus, you're doing stuff like, UH sports and stuff. And it seems like you've always been there. But actually, started a long time ago, yeah?
It's funny because I was talking to some young people and then somebody came up to me and goes, "Oh, I remember your radio days." And they looked at me and go, "You were in radio?"
I know, it seems a lifetime ago, yeah?
It does. I always wanted to be in radio. I grew up in Kona, and when I was 5th grade, I was listening to radio, and that was my escape. That was my play box. I could turn it on, had all my favorite songs, had all these guys having all of this fun. They'd take calls, they'd talk to people, they'd play games. I wish I could win the prizes, but I was glued to Honolulu radio at the time.
Yeah, but you must have had that tone, that quality, that delivery back then.
No. I listened back to my tapes, bro. I sound like I sound like a different world. And I go, and even my wife goes, "Who is that?"
Yeah.
That's me. No. Ooh, ew.
So sing.
One of the clearest, most wonderful voices.
Yeah.
Wow.
Getting all swollen, getting swollen.
You should try using it sometime.
Ooh.
Ever since that day, it's like, okay, I occasionally bring it out only when I need to, but it's just the regular voice. It's gone deeper since then. Mahalo keakua. I didn't do anything to try to enhance it, but it's
just puberty was kind to you. Mahalo for listening to this episode of Upfront with Guy Hagi. Download for free and listen anytime, wherever you get your podcast.
Gotta love those two rascals in the car. But we had a great show today here on High Now Daily. If you missed it, make sure you go back and check it out because we got the details on how you can attend a job fair, tons of opportunity with the Honolulu Police Department, how you can support Hawaii's film industry, and of course there is an epic show happening this week in Hawaii Kai, so we're gonna give you all those details. But thanks so much for tuning in. You're watching High Now Daily, and of course we'll be back tomorrow.